If My People Bible Reading Part 107, the book of Amos. We are in chapter 5. Uh, I don't know. Amos is a fantastic book for today. It really helps prepare you for the reality of everything coming. It gives you a clear, definitive idea of how to plan your life today. So we just finished, I think, chapter 4. In chapter 5, give you a couple quotes here. Verse 3, chapter 5, verse 3. This is what Adonai Yahweh says. The city that marches out 1,000 strong for Israel will have only 100 left. The town that marches out 100 strong will only have 10 left. The term remnant is coming up again and again and again and again. Verse 4, this is what Yahweh says, the house of Israel, seek me and live. Seek me. Choose life or death. Choose life. He seeks a believer. We can seek him, but we will not find him unless he allows us. And then those last few feet, he seeks us. If he knows your heart and what's really there and you're not faking it, he's going to seek you. But you can go through that path. Those who hear and obey will be with Yeshua already when Yahweh will then send out his shepherds to retrieve those who seek him. So we are to be gathering together now on the appointed time. How do you know someone who hears and obeys? They are following the Torah. They are following royal Torah. They are following the 1,050 commands of the new covenant. They are gathering on Shabbats, the real Shabbat, not Sunday mornings. They are paying attention to the Word and knowing that Jesus wrote the entire Bible. But Jesus didn't get rid of or destroy the Old Testament. He laid out what was already there. He never wanted a temple. He never wanted anything built by man. He never asked for any of these things. He did not want to give you the added laws, the Levitical laws, those added on the side, hooked on the horns of the side of the Ark of the Covenant. And they were left inside. They were not left inside because they had to be used daily to be pulled out to testify against the people's sins. The Ten Commandments, Aaron's rod, the manna, all evidence and testimony of the Ten Commandments. That was on the inside. That bema seat was sealed. So let's go down to verse 16. Therefore, this is what Yahweh Elohim Almighty says. And when he's using his whole name, like you use your middle name. And when your mother uses your full name, you're in trouble at home, right? John Roberts Jacobs, get in here. You know you're in big trouble. Well, whenever you see that, like Yeshua in the New Testament, he goes, verily, verily, when he keeps trying to tell you, he mentions things once, twice. Now here it is, Yahweh Elohim Almighty. That's an El Shaddai on there. Oh, wow. You better listen. There will be wailing in all the streets and cries and anguish in every public square. The farmers will be summoned to weep and the mourners to wail. Why will the farmers be summoned to weep? Pestilence and famine is coming, folks. Not asteroids from outer space, not nuclear explosions on the sun so that you have to dig hundreds, if not thousands of tunnels and caves, which all the governments of the world have done for their people to hide in. The ones that you're not going to be allowed in. So many people will not be allowed those. And then guess what? You don't want to be allowed in them. These people are part of the Antichrist system. So they're spending all your money right now. This whole world's in massive debt because of them. And it isn't building airplanes or social security programs. It is building tunnels and filling them with things and stuff and high technology, draining you of everything. And all the billionaires, will they be in the tunnels and have their special places? Oh yeah, there's a place in southern Missouri that I went to. A multi-millionaire built a beautiful castle-like thing. It's brand new. It's only been there 4 or 5 years. I think it's around Iron Shannon County. Take a look for it. It's where the heavy water is made for all nuclear plants. The heavy water. There's a big hint there. I've been there, and that he's dug down into a gigantic thing underneath it where he lives. He's hiding in a hole in the ground. He's a hidey ho. Play on words there. I made a comment to verse 18. Those who have taken the lie of pre-tribulation rapture believe they will be taken away and will suffer no tribulation from the Antichrist. And yet they look forward to the day of Adonai, the day of the Lord. I've heard so many Christians say that. Oh, I'm protected from the Antichrist. I'm going to be zapped and zoomed and gone away, but we are looking forward to the day of the Lord. The day of the Lord, for they want justice. It's all about them. But little do they even see that woe comes with that belief because they have focused on their own salvation and not others there. They will be the ones mourning. They will be the ones weeping. And they will be coming in tears when Yahweh has made himself known to all the world. Why? Because they're still here. Verse 19, it will be as though a man fled from a lion only to meet a bear, as though he entered his house and rested his hand on the wall only to have a snake bite him. Will not the day of Yahweh be darkness, not light, pitch dark, without a ray of brightness? I despise your religious feast. I cannot stand your assemblies. Who's talking? Amos? No, the Father is. Uh-oh. Verse 22, even though you bring me burnt offerings and grain offerings, I will not accept them. Though you bring choice fellowship offerings, I have no regard for them. Okay, I have so many good friends of mine in Hebrew roots. They all don't believe the same thing because there's like 30 different branches now, and they don't get along either. Right? They don't. They act like they do, they don't. Just like Christians in one church. Are you Lutheran? Are you Baptist? Are you Methodist? Do these people get along? No. Okay. He says, I have no regard for them either. Huh. Boy, that's just the opposite of what you hear out there. And by the way, so if you, and I've heard so many of them, and good people say this, when I'm called upon, when something happens and I know it's time to go, I will go to Jerusalem and I will start sacrificing with animals again. Yay! What did you just read? No! And that's where it says later on, and we'll get there, it says, run away. Because you're going to get caught on the rooftop. You won't have time to change your clothes or change your mind. Let's see. Away with the noise of your songs. Have you ever heard their music today? I will not listen to the music of your harps. Harps. Most songs today, if you listen to the words, are full of traditions of men and doctrines that appeal to the masses, not to Yahweh's ears. Ooh. Stepping on some toes today, are you, Mr. Scott? Yup. Verse 17 in chapter 7. How we doing? Good time. It says this. Therefore, this is what Yahweh says. Your wife will become a prostitute in the city, and your sons and daughters will fall by the sword. Your land will be measured and divided up, and you yourself will die in a pagan country, and Israel will certainly go into exile away from their native land. Okay, that's showing about back then. In these last days, our comments when you speak against institutional churches, the lost and confused, the Orthodox synagogues, synagogues of Satan, synagogues, church of Satan, churches of Satan, and either are told to find another church, leave, you're not here anymore, or go find yourself in conflict with these man-made church doctrines, traditions of men, and you know something's terribly wrong, don't fear. Yahweh is not in the majority and never will be. He is not permitting the watering down sermons, permissiveness of strange music, strange fire. Remember that? Aaron's kids. That is popular for the youth just to get more church attendance and, of course, money in the church pockets. Your efforts to remain an active member in those apostate churches and walk the daily walk in Yahweh through the love of Yeshua, the only begotten Son of Yahweh, will be filled with a Ruach, cannot continue. It's one or the other. One or the other. Chapter 8, verse 12. Men will stagger from sea to sea and wander from north to east, searching for the word of Yahweh, but they won't find it. Not then coming up, less than 30 years later, and not today. There's a famine in the land. When we get to another minor prophet, you'll be reading that. What is the famine? The famine of the word. Uh, if YouTube takes me off, or we get no one wants to listen to this, they just don't have time. They just don't care, and I don't fit in what the rest of the Bible teachers out there who claim to be Christians, who claim to be messianics, and hear and obey are following. I don't follow them, and they certainly don't follow me. I'm just saying, test everything I say. Test everything I say. How many times do I have to say that? Say it anyway. Um, Chapter 9 is one of those Olive Top moments. I saw Olive Top, Yahweh, standing by the altar, and he said, strike the tops of the pillars so that the threshold shake. Who's he talking about? Yeshua. There's a lot of Bibles, these Olive Top Bibles, and they're just so nice to read, but they're a little confusing because they have some other faith systems. They a lot of them want to bring back the all of the old Torah, all of the old Torah. So okay, so you're out picking up sticks on Shabbat, and you just go pick up some stones and kill the guy, right? Oh well, it says right here, thousands of years ago, so we're bringing back all of Torah and the incredible stuff that was in there for those people at that time that is no longer. We're not under that Levitical law. Levitical law and the others and all of the Torah, the condemnation of it through Yeshua, we're not under that because we believe and follow Yeshua. So therefore we know what Torah to follow in the old covenant, and we know to follow all of his commands in the new covenant, all 1050 commands, which are easy. And once again, I've said this, grafted in at graftedin8 at yahoo.com, or OO, not 00, OOUBC, OOUBC, onward, outward, upward, before Christ 8 at gmail.com, OOUBC8 at gmail.com. Okay? And I will send you, you don't need the 613 commands, do you? But I can send them to you. And I also made a note on mine of which ones we're no longer under. I put down removed. And then the 1050, every one of them. Every one of them. And they are clearly marked. In this Bible I have here, I will turn a page, and I just turned to page 1040. And you see the highlights right here, down here. I just turned the page, and it says this. Where are we at? Chapter 13. Take care of what the prophets have said does not happen to you. That's a command. Look, you scoffers, wonder and perish, for I am going to do something in your days that you will never believe, even if someone told you. So there's a Torah command. Plain as day. Torah command. Verse 47. For this is what Yahweh has commanded. Well, there's a great big hint. Torah. So this is what Yahweh has Torah'd us. I have made you a light for the Gentiles, that you may bring Yeshua to the ends of the earth. Torah. Let's just do another one. I'm having fun. Next page, let's see, chapter 15, verse 28. It seemed good to the Ruach HaKodesh and to us not to burden you with anything beyond the following requirements. You are to abstain from food sacrificed to idols, from blood and from the meat of strangled animals, and from sexual immorality. You will do well to avoid these things. Farewell. Torah command. Hello, Messianics. Hello, Orthodox Judaism, which, by the way, I know you've read this, but you don't endorse it at all. Hello, Hebrew roots. All 30 branches. All 30. The ones that my brother visited, and he loved every one of you. And the ones who don't like my brother. It doesn't matter. Aloha. I mean, here it is. Christians who are catching on to this. And now we're in part what? 106, 107? If you're paying attention to me this far, you're a shepherd. You're not a sheep. So stay in the Word. Stay in the Word. It gets better and better as we go along. See you at the next one. Shalom.